Hey everyone, it's Karen. So I think if I could describe my faith in a few words, I would probably say that I'm a woo-woo wannabe Episcopalian. I have been going to an Episcopal church since COVID had started, just because I was curious and it was less intimidating for me to try it online. I'm loving it, but at the same time, I will never really fit into any box because I am so woo-woo and just believe in a lot of not traditional kind of thoughts. One of the things that I think is that there is so much to offer just through every single religion, and it's amazing the similarities between them and how everything just seems so interconnected, and how we can find value in every single one of them, and that each one might even be made for a certain type of person to be able to reach God. Those are just some of my thoughts. But anyway, I want to get into this idea that I always have a book going for kind of personal growth. I think that kind of evangelical Christians will call it like a devotional. I don't know what I call it. I just kind of call it quiet time usually. But one of the books that I just finished that was so amazing is The Practice is the Path by T.S. Little. And this is kind of more about the yoga lifestyle. I found out about this book from Sean, and I'll link her below. But I just found it so powerful, and I can definitely walk through and share with you some of the stuff that this book talked about. But I think that one of the things that's true about reading books like this is it's more not even the content, but the process of reading through them slowly that really allows you to access what you need from it. And that might be different what I got out of this book. But basically, this breaks down the lifestyle kind of behind yoga and some of the more spiritual aspects of it. So that split into 9 sections, which really focuses on each different aspect of yoga. And the beginning is just kind of intro on like how to live your life, and I just found it so beautiful. They're talking about kind of your life path, and on a path you are meant to meander, to enjoy each footfall. And later, it's not that even like the path matters so much, but the author says what matters is that sure-footed, with shoulders back and heart lifted, you trust the pads of your feet. So just this like beautiful confidence and self-love that you take with you wherever you go, whatever happens to you in life, bad stuff, good stuff, everything. And for me personally, some of the bad times in my life have actually been huge blessings, obviously down the road, because at first they just seem horrible. The first section is called Empty Before You Begin. And again, this is really strongly based in yoga, but it could be applied to other areas. But it's just this idea of starting each morning fresh, like brand new, that you are fresh and empty and open to the day and what it's going to bring you. The author talks about when he leads yoga classes, he will start in Shavasana and just have everyone chill on their mat, completely be empty, because in that way then you can fill yourself with the practice. It's an invitation to become an open vessel and become receptive to whatever may arise. Empty before you begin. And so for me, this has really kind of brought me back to something I used to do before, which is starting every single day with meditation, just actively letting go at dawn and just starting the day fresh. So I guess I kind of viewed this book as soaking it all up, but also giving me practices that for that week that I read that section, I would really focus on. So for 1 week, I really focused on meditating when I woke up in the morning. It also talks about as we travel from the outer focus of yoga into a more inward focus. Like at first, when you first are doing yoga, you're trying to do everything right, and you might be comparing yourself to other people, but there's this inward focus in yoga as well. And we must shed or molt the outer layers of self. So anyway, I think that I have so much underlined. I think I'm gonna kind of not share this all with you, because again, this is a self exploration that I think that you need to go on, self-discovery, all that. But this just really, I took a chapter each week, really focused on it, really dug deep, and it just really, really emphasized my life motto, which is kind of live fully, love deeply. And then on my Instagram, I added to read all the books. But just this full way to live life is definitely in this book. And again, there's lots more sections, but I just loved it so much. And so I was thinking about that, about how I seem to always have one kind of development, spirituality sort of book on the go at every given time. So I want to show you some of the other ones that I've really enjoyed. And some of them are Christian, but some are not, because as I said, I'm kind of woo-woo. So Karen Armstrong's 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life. This is, as it says, 12 steps to be more compassionate. I think this is super, super important now. And I personally, in America, kind of feel like a fresh, take a deep breath. We're moving on to something else. And with the new president, it's kind of a new chance to, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to be a citizen of the United States? And my plan for this one was to spend 1 month on step 1, 1 month on step 2, etc. However, I just get involved in so many book projects that I have forgotten about that. But this is definitely something I would like to go back to. So just to quickly go over the 12 steps before I move on to the next book. The first step is to learn more about compassion. Look at your own world. Have compassion for yourself. Empathy, which is built a lot on reading. Through reading, we develop more empathy than most people. So I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. Mindfulness, action. 7 is how little we know. How should we speak to one another? 9 is concern for everybody. 10 is knowledge. 11 is recognition. And step 12, the hardest, love your enemies. So something that I definitely want to get back to. And I think that's true with all of these. All of these, I could reread them 100 times and I would never be able to get everything I needed, because each moment of your life is different and you need different things. This is How Big Is Your God? This is a Catholic book. However, it's kind of woo-woo Catholic, and it's just more general and universal, I feel like. I have gotten so many beautiful quotes from here, and I actually just flipped just to my favorite one on accident because I was trying to quickly find one. And this is what it says. Once you have seen the face of God, going to church becomes meaningful. Being a Christian makes sense, and all your good works will be fruitful. I totally believe in that. With the caveat that going to church looks different for everybody and may not always mean physically going to church. The next one is The Joy of the Gospel by Pope Francis. This is one of the first books that I think came out when he became Pope. And this is just on breaking down faith into, for me, what it actually looks like physically in action. What do you look like in the world as a Christian? And I felt that for this, there's all these small individual sections, and I would read a section and work on that for a week, which kind of seems to be my thing. But the first section I read, what I got out of it was to keep focused on God. And then the next section, have a daily quiet time. And that doesn't mean you're not Christian. That doesn't mean praying and all that stuff, but it's just what is your source? What gives you energy? What gives you just this feeling of connection? And make sure you're doing that every day. Make sure you're connecting in some way to whatever that is that gives you your source of energy. Then Thoughts in Solitude by Thomas Merton. I think I reread this during COVID because I have all these underlines, and then it says COVID-19 by it. But anyway, just a lot of, essays and stuff. Actually, I just came across one that I might want to share. I wrote in the margin, social media. It says, when men are merely submerged in a mass of impersonal human beings pushed around by automatic forces, they lose their true humanity, their integrity, their ability to love, their capacity for self-determination. When society is made up of men who know no interior solitude, it can no longer be held together by love, and consequently, it is held together by violent and abusive authority. I feel like as an American, I connected to that, and I think that this idea is just whatever gives you energy and power and connection and love, connect to that every day, and don't just use social media without thinking about like how it is automatically forcing you in certain directions. Just like connect with yourself before you go out into the world every day. Jesus and the Disinherited by Howard Thurman. This gave me a lot of good insight, but it also gave me kind of a Black perspective on Christianity, and I found that super helpful and super like, I don't know, I just never even thought of things in this way, and I loved this. And then this is just a short little one called Time for God. It's about prayer and, again, finding time just to be, you know, in stillness and in quiet. And this book is kind of special to me because there was this guy, basically, because I don't fit in a box, my religion is kind of all over the place. I am always connected to God. I'm always growing in a positive path, but I don't fit a box, and every time I try and put myself into a box, it doesn't work. Anyway, at one point when I was like being like, okay, I'm never gonna fit in a box, so I'm just gonna be Catholic because that's my background, that's home for me, and nothing is ever gonna fit, so why am I still searching? I met up with this guy. He was like a Monsignor. I don't really know what that means. Anyway, he was like a priest at this like campus church near where I worked. I wasn't a college student at the time, but it was a cool place for me to go just because I felt like it was more genuine and open and all that stuff. And he met with me, and it was just like such a good meeting. I just felt so free after meeting with him, and I don't really like, I can tell you, but it's just like you had to have been there, I guess. And he was showing me some of these books, and I don't think he intended to give me a couple, but I was like, oh, can I take these? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, and he was like, yeah, if you're gonna use them, you can definitely take them, and this was one of them. And he since has passed away. He got a brain tumor and was gone pretty quickly, and so this book just holds so much meaning for me because the content is amazing, but also it reminds me of him and just how I felt like he was one of the people along my path that really helped me. So that is that. Right now, so I just finished this one. Right now I'm slowly reading through My Bright Abyss, and yeah, I have a few more books on my shelf that are unread that are kind of like Christianity, spirituality, yoga sort of stuff. But I would be curious, like, what are some of your favorites? Just things that really help you feel connected and like push you forward into so much love, connection, joy. I don't even know what to say, but if there are books that impacted you, I want to know them. So please put them in the comments because I'm always on the lookout for new books. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.